Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at Season 5 of Dexter. So in this season, after the events of Season 4, Dexter is dealing with a sense of loss. And if you've watched Season 4, you'll know what I'm talking about. And while he does consider putting his dark passenger to rest, he is called back into action when a new group of serial killers called the Barrel Girl Group emerges. So the reception to this season, from what I've seen, has been mostly positive, even though some consider it to be unnecessary, mainly because of how Season 4 ended. You know, people argue that that should have been the ending to the show. As for me, I like Season 5, I don't think it's amazing, some people do, and they'll defend it to their death, which is fine. I wanted to like it as much as they do, but I don't. This season marked a change in showrunners. Clyde Phillips, who served as the showrunner for the first 4 seasons, stepped down, but remained on board as a creative consultant for Season 5, and he was replaced by Chip Johannesson. And in my opinion, Johannesson did a decent job at continuing the story of Dexter. Though I wish he had stayed on board a bit longer because the showrunner that came after him, Scott Buck, well, we'll get to him some other time. So let's get into it. So first of all, I really appreciate the way Dexter tries to move on from the aforementioned sense of loss. The season does start out slow with him taking some time to figure out what to do next. It doesn't just rush towards him getting back into the habit of killing. His son Harrison is now about a year old, and I really enjoy their interactions as father and son. Although he does hire a nanny at some point, and she and Dexter have some very interesting interactions. And as I forgot to mention in my previous review, Dexter named him Harrison because he wanted to name him after his father, Harry Morgan. And Harry does show up as the usual subconscious in Dexter's mind, but the scenes are shot in such a way that he looks as if he's actually there with Dexter. And then you have the villains, the Barrel Girl Group. Yes, I say group because there's actually more than one villain. These guys basically kidnap women, sexually abuse them, and then leave their bodies in barrels. And their leader is quite interesting. His name's Jordan Chase. He's not like the other villains on the show, mainly because of what he does for a living, which I'm not going to get into because it'll surprise you. And while he is responsible for the kidnappings and abuse of the women, he doesn't actually partake in said abuse. This idea for the villains was, in my opinion, clearly inspired by the movie Taken, starring Liam Neeson. Julia Stiles guest stars in this season as Lumen Pierce, a woman who wants revenge against the Barrel Girl Group following her traumatic experiences with them. She and Dexter have a very interesting dynamic throughout the season. Deborah begins another romance, and it's one of her more interesting relationships throughout the show. Peter Weller, who you may remember as RoboCop, yes, the original RoboCop, not the one from the reboot, plays Stan Liddy, a crooked cop who is hired to investigate Dexter's past. I don't know if it's just me, but I noticed a few subtle nods and references to Peter Weller's RoboCop persona. And as for the finale, while it wasn't perfect, it was still one of the better finales. Now I do have some problems with Season 5. Firstly, this season pretty much follows the typical Dexter formula. You've got serial killers that the police are pursuing, you've got Dexter realizing he's not all that much of a sociopath based on his friendship or relationship with somebody, in this case it's Lumen, and Deborah enters another romance. It's pretty much what we've seen before, making it somewhat predictable. As far as the subplots are concerned, there's some melodrama between LaGuerta and Batista that you won't really care about. There's a subplot involving a Mexican cartel gang which doesn't really go anywhere. And while the Barrel Girl Group was interesting, especially their leader, Jordan Chase, the other members, some of them are fairly fleshed out and some of them are just kind of meh. And there is one aspect of the finale that just felt so contrived.
and it involves Deborah, and if you've watched it, you know what I'm talking about. I get what they were going for, but it does stretch plausibility to a certain extent. So yeah, those were my thoughts on Season 5 of Dexter. It's still a good season, but it's nothing amazing. Next time we're going to be looking at Season 6. So thank you all for watching. Please be sure to like the video, share it and subscribe, hit the notification icon. Be safe during this time, and I'll see you soon.